I have like a paper towel container.
Ooh, I like that one. I like that one a lot. Kennedy, what about you? Kennedy, oh, Alex, what about you? And Andrew?
I have a few. I have a paper cup and this box.
Oh, I love it. I love
And
it.
a battery.
Oh, cool. What about you, Andrew?
Water bottle.
And Andrew, you are muted.
Yeah.
Try to keep yourself unmuted. And Andrew, go for it.
So are we sharing about like something we found?
I cannot hear you. You'll have to speak more clearly. Sorry.
Are we like sharing on substances that we measure?
Okay, so when you have a cylinder, hold it up to the screen so we can see it. Jack, what about you?
Right now.
Oh, no. Jack has toilet paper. I love it. That's a great cylinder and really important one. What about you, Kennedy?
I only have a couple things that I got because I put them back, but I did get a birthday candle. I don't have it right now. It was 6 centimeters by half a centimeter.
Well, you know what? We'll definitely look at that. And wow, Serena, what is that you're holding up?
Water bottle.
Oh, a water bottle. I really, really like it. Okay, guys, are you ready for this? I am going to do a participants lower all hands, and I want you guys to look at my drinking glass. I want you to raise your hands, or send me a chat actually. Is this more tall than it is round? I will tell you this one is definitely more tall. How about this one? How about this one? Wouldn't you say that all of those are more tall than round? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Agreed. Agreed, agreed, agreed. Now, I'm going to tell you a story. You ready for the story? True story. Oh, and by the way, there's somebody, Sean family, I need a name of a student, Ava, much better. And Ava, if you leave on your video, then I know that that's you. Okay, great. Now, when I was in college and law school, I was a struggling student, meaning that I was poor, didn't have a lot of money to buy soda and things like that. So when I used to go out with my friends, I used to say to somebody, hey, I'll buy you a soda if you can guess this right. And if you guess it wrong, you buy me a soda. And they say, well, what is it? What do you have to guess? Is this more tall than round? And 99 times out of 100, they would say it's more tall. And then I would say, awesome, because I get myself a soda. Now let me explain why. I want everybody to take a drinking glass, something like a drinking glass. And Rafa, can you turn your screen around? That's a little unnerving to be upside down, please. And it's just hard to manage. Okay, so take your drinking glass, and I want you guys to take your pinky and thumb, and I want you to wrap it around the perimeter of the base. Wrap it around the perimeter of the circular base. Now, I'm going to mute everybody because there's a lot of background noise. So remember, the perimeter of a circle has a special name. Who can name it for me? Please put your hand up electronically if you know the name of the perimeter of a circle. And now we can all say it on 3. 1, 2, 3, go.
Circumference.
It is called the circumference. How many of you were not able to get your hand around the entire circumference? All right, you ready? Do the same thing now with the height. And
Don't do that.
were you able to easily pass the height?
Yes. No.
Wait, hold on a second, Hayden. I'll be back. I'll be with you in a sec.
Yes.
Almost everybody has a span from pinky to thumb bigger than the height, but smaller than the circumference. Is this glass more round or more tall?
Tall.
No, round.
Not even close. I can't even get my fingers around the circumference, but I can easily span the height. Now, Hayden, you said that you had an exception.
Actually, I was.
It was? It was? Okay, good. And Elliot, do you have yours? Uh-oh. And Jack, can you change your name from Leslie, please, to your name? It's just easier for me to manage. And Maisie, I'd love to see yours, your cylinder, as well as Sam. I'd love to see if you have any cylinders. Serena.
Why did you say awesome though? Wrong.
To what?
When you asked your friend, you said awesome because they said 99.
Oh yeah, awesome, because I just got a free soda.
Oh.
Right? And guys, later in this lesson, I am going to teach you how to win a free soda twice. Because once you do this to somebody and they know the answer, you would think it would be impossible, right? Now, I'm going to show you a screen right now. And we now know most drinking glasses, and I'm gonna mute everybody because there's a lot of background noise. Yes, somebody, I'm gonna mute you, Alex, because I think it might be coming from you. So almost every drinking glass is more round than it is tall. The question I have though, are there exceptions? When would a drinking glass be more tall than it is round? So raise your hand, please, electronically. Raise your hand electronically right now if you can tell me an exception to this rule. Andrew, we're going to go with you. Go for it, Andrew. But yeah,
I can show you an example of one. I don't know if it's an example of one, but I have one that is like pretty tall, but it has a really wide like round. I'm gonna try to find it.
Okay, while you're finding it, Alex, can you tell us about yours?
Well, if the drinking glass that you have is very skinny, then if the drinking glass you have is very skinny, then it can very obviously.
That is true. Alex, that is true. But I want to try to get an example of one of those. Serena, what about you?
I'm gonna give an example, but if it's very skinny and very long, then it can be.
Right. But I want an example. Jack, how about you, buddy?
I got it. I got the.
And let me, Andrew, what do you have there, buddy?
So I have like this thing. I can reach around, but like I can like reach around like here.
Oh, you know what, guys? I'm not sure. We're gonna have, Andrew, don't leave that. Leave that right where you are. We're gonna test that, but make sure you have a ruler, Andrew. Make sure you go get a centimeter ruler so we can test it. Alex, do you have something else to share?
Well, this battery could be an exception because I measured it with my pinky and it was like a third as tall as this, but then here my two fingers could easily wrap right it took all my fingers to wrap my whole finger to wrap right around it.
Alex, let me tell you something. Do not get rid of that battery. We are gonna test it. We are gonna test it. Now, everybody, I wanna show you a picture. I do not recommend that you drink out of these drinking glasses. You ready?
Oh.
Champagne flute and a test tube. Now, test tubes are used in scientific experiments, and they are very skinny, and you could drink out of them, but don't do it.
Why?
Champagne is just not good for you, and you guys are too young anyway. So you can't drink out of a champagne glass. Now, forget drinking glasses right now. Who can show me right now examples of non-drinking glasses that are exceptions, that are taller than they are round? Maddie, go.
A pencil.
Everybody, pencil is awesome. Everybody, come on. Everybody put up something that is an example. Oh, Jack's got one. Yep. Jack has one. Maddie. Anybody else? What's that, Alex?
Won't let me show my video.
It's a highlighter pen.
Oh, a highlighter pen. Oh, Hayden's got one. Omer's got one. Now, guys, guess what? I found that candles are huge exceptions. Candles are huge exceptions. Pencils, markers. Now, I'm going to show you one of my favorite exceptions. One of my favorite exceptions is a whiteboard marker. Whiteboard markers are always exceptions. So when you do this trick on somebody, make sure you're talking about a drinking glass, because I've never seen somebody with a drinking glass that is an exception. Okay? And well, you know, and we're gonna have to test Andrew's. Now, I want to ask you guys a question. Does anybody know, and please chat to me the answer, the number of diameters? So here is the diameter of my peanut butter Skippy. Okay? This is my diameter. How many diameters can I stretch end to end around my circumference? So don't say it out loud. Send me a chat as to how many times a diameter can fit around the circumference of a circle, because that's going to help us do the calculation right now. So I'm looking for chats. Ooh, I got one from Claire, Olivia. Wow. Rafa, that is very, very precise. Rafa, can you give it to me as a fraction? Ben, I love it. No, Maddie, it's a number under 5, Maddie. It's a number under 5. Oh, so Jack, can you see the word diameter? Diameter is the distance across the middle of a circle. From one end of the circle to the other. In fact, everybody hold their fingers on either end of the diameter of their cylinder right now. Pick up a cylinder, hold it up to the camera, and then show me. All right. Very, very nice. Are you guys ready? Now, some of you got really, really incredibly close because the answer is the number pi. The answer is the number pi. Now, Rafa, can you tell us a little bit about what your estimate of pi was? I'm going to write it down if you say it nice and slow.
Well, I used to know like 80 digits, but then I stopped memorizing for my book. So, 3.141.
Keep going.
59265. And 358979.
Now, guys, Rafa has memorized the digits of pi after the decimal. So the answer is a little more than 3. You guys, if I ask you how many diameters fit around the circumference of a circle, your answer should be 3 and a little more. If you want to be more precise, you can say 3 1/7. Raise your hand electronically if you can tell me what this is as an improper fraction. An improper fraction. Do you know 3 1/7 as an improper fraction? Ben?
24/7.
That's very, very close. 24/7 is 3 3/7. So that's really, really good. Alex?
22/7.
And that is precise. 22/7 is still an estimate. But guess what, guys? I didn't want to do just look up the answer. So I built a circle with a diameter down the middle. Does everybody see the pink diameter? Give me thumbs up if you can see it. Now, I wrapped that length around the arc of the circle once, twice, 3 times, and a little bit. That little bit was estimated by Archimedes in the year 280 BC. In the year 280 BC, Archimedes estimated it as 3 1/7. Now, would anybody be interested in what the Bible says about pi? So I don't know if anybody has an interest in this, but the Bible, which was written, about 4,000 years ago, it tells a story. Are you guys ready for the story? Very quick story. It's in a book called the Book of Kings. Now, I don't know the Bible at all, but I just learned this many years ago when I was at Georgetown. The Book of Kings has a phrase which says, "Now he made the sea of cast metal, 10 cubits from brim to brim." That would be the diameter, by the way. 10 cubits from brim to brim. Circular in form, the height of the cylinder was 5 cubits, and the circumference was 30. So the diameter was 10, the circumference was 30, and who can tell me what happens when you divide 30 by 10? What do you get? On 3, 1, 2, 3, go.
3.
3.
And guess what? The Bible estimated that pi was 3. And that was 4,000 years ago. Now, in your packet, I gave you a history of pi. So back about 1900 BC, the Babylonians came up with 3.125 as pi. Who can give me what fraction that is? 3.125. And I'm looking for different people to raise their hand. Those who have not participated, please only raise your hand once. Ben, your hand is on the button. And I'm going to call on you in just a second. And nobody has an idea of what 0.125 is. Well, I will tell you before I get the answer, it is 3 and 125,000. How many times does 125 go into 1,000? And on 3, 1, 2, 3, go.
8.
So it's 3 and 1, 8. And then, guys, 1650 BC, the Egyptians came up with 3.1605 per pi. And nobody really knows why that happened. It's in a piece of a document that's in the British Museum called the Rhind Papyrus. I've actually seen it. I couldn't read it, of course, because it's in an ancient language, but it's one of the earliest math texts that still exists, and it's called the Rhind Papyrus. Now, my man Archimedes, in 280 BC, Archimedes didn't just do it by measurement. He did it by calculation. And he came up with 3 and 1/7. And he also came up with 3 and 10/71. And pi lies somewhere in the middle. Now, what's really cool is that a Chinese mathematician in the year 500 AD, he came up with a fraction that was 355 over 113. And I can't believe it, but this is what his number represents. So the actual pi is 3.1415926. His number, 355 to 113, was 3.1415929. Guys, is that insane? So yes. The Chinese mathematician in 500 AD, he got closer than anyone. And then finally, in the 1700s, they chose the Greek letter pi to represent the actual number. And it was a bunch of mathematicians called Euler and Buffon, and it was really, really cool. Now, let's go back to it. I want everybody right now, and I'm gonna show you a picture. I want you guys to put your fingers across the diameter and just like this. Now, this is a measurement tool, guys. This is a measurement tool. Your fingers are a measurement tool. If you go like this and then you move your fingers, it's no longer a measurement tool. Set your diameter and hold your fingers steady. set your diameter and hold your fingers steady. Now, here's what I want you to do. Hold it steady and put this along the height of your cylinder. That's 1 diameter, 2 diameters, 3 diameters, and a little bit. So it goes to show you that this cylinder is so much more round than it is tall. Now, I need Andrew. Andrew, I want you to unmute yourself. And Andrew, show me your water bottle. Now, Andrew, set the diameter right now. Hold that tight. And then measure how many and show us very, very closely side by side. First, measure the diameter again. First, measure the diameter again. Now, hold it tight. And I only want to see 2 fingers. Andrew, only show me 2 fingers. And now turn it sideways and show us, and be careful as you go. You know what? I think, Andrew, that yours is still more round than it is tall. I think it's still more round. Now, Andrew, please do this now. I want everybody right now to show the piece of paper that they worked on this week. The piece of paper that they worked on recording their
I didn't get to do it.
Yeah, if you didn't get to do it, then obviously you didn't get to do it. But if you did get to do it, what I want to do is I want to see that piece of paper right now. Hold it up right now. Jacob's got one. Maddie's got one. Asher's got one. I've got a lot of people with their video off. Zach, Elliot, Drew, Maisie, Sam, and Will, and Claire, and Ava. I can't see. I see somebody named the area of the circle, but I don't know your name. So you've got to rename yourself, your name, because it makes it easier. Okay. Andrew. We're gonna do Andrew's mug. Andrew's water bottle. And Andrew, what is the diameter of your water bottle in centimeters?
About 7.
Okay. Now, Andrew, can you tell me now precisely how many millimeters it is?
Like how many millimeters are in a centimeter?
There are 10 millimeters, 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter.
So 70 millimeters.
But did you measure it as 70 or are you estimating 70?
Estimated 70 millimeters because like 10 centimeters, because 10 millimeters.
Do you have a ruler? If you have a ruler, you do not have to estimate.
No, I know.
70 millimeters.
Yeah, I know. I look, so yeah, so there's about 70.
Okay, so we're gonna see 70. Now, I think you guys are gonna like this. We now need to multiply by 3 and a 7. Now, my favorite way to multiply is to do repeated addition. Do you guys see 7 plus 7 plus 7? And 70 plus 70 plus 70? Don't forget to add a 7th of 7. Don't forget to add a 7th. Okay? And now, on 3, I want you to tell me the number of centimeters and millimeters in the circumference of Andrew's water bottle? On 3. 1, 2, 3.
21 centimeters and 210 millimeters.
I
Just
agree.
centimeters,
You are close.
22 centimeters and 220
And
millimeters.
that is precise. Everybody, do not forget 7/7, which is 1. Do not forget 70/7, which is what, everybody?
10.
And now, Andrew, what is the height of your cylinder?
The height of my cylinder is
This is 10.
Yeah. That's right.
about 21 centimeters.
21 centimeters. Guess what, guys?
7 divided by 7 is 1.
Guess what? The circumference of Andrew's cylinder is slightly bigger than the height. So even that beautiful, Andrew, show us that water bottle again. Make sure everybody can see it. All right. Now, who's going to give me theirs next? Raise your hand electronically and we'll go through yours.
Just raise your hand first.
And raise it electronically because then I can see it. I'm going to go with you, Jack, first. Go.
I have this package of salt.
You have to raise your hand. You have
Oh, Jack,
no.
I'm loving it. Jack's salt.
Little hand is right there.
Jack, give me the diameter and the height right now, please.
The height, where's the ruler?
Oh, yeah. Guys, do the calculation before you raise your hand because you should have done that yesterday. So, Jack, while you're working on this, Jacob, give me yours.
So, I had a paper clip holder, so.
Jacob, I cannot hear you, buddy. You got to really belt out the word.
So I measured a paper clip holder. It was 9 centimeters and the height was 7.5 centimeters.
And the height was 7.5. All right, Jack, did you get yours, buddy?
It's 12 centimeters high, and I don't exactly get how to do the.
12 centimeters is the height, Jack?
12 centimeters is the height.
Yeah, now Jack, look at my screen. The diameter is the distance from the end to end of the circle going through
No,
the
I know
center.
that. I'm having a tough time measuring it.
Okay, great. Let's move on
Oh,
to,
it's 6.5 centimeters. I just got it.
say it again.
6.5 centimeters.
All right, let's do 6.5. But let's do it as millimeters. Say out loud, please. How many millimeters is that?
How do you divide this? 600.5.
Not
No,
600.
wait. 650.
Not 600.
65.
Go ahead, Matthew.
65.
Maddie.
65.
Exactly. Now, what we're going to do, guys, we're going to actually multiply that by 22/7. And I'm going to estimate Jack's diameter at 63 millimeters. Now,
You
show
get
you
out
why.
holder and measure it.
We're going to use 3 7, but we're going to use it as an improper fraction. Do you guys remember what Alex told us before? That 3 1/7 is how many sevenths?
22.
22.
22/7. So watch this. When we multiply 63 times 22/7, we notice that 63 and 7, how many times does 7 go into 63, guys?
9.
9.
And there, all we have to do is 22 times 9, which don't say it out loud. Don't say it out loud, but it's 9 times 20 plus 9 times 2. Who can say it on 3? 1, 2, 3, go.
198.
And if you got 198, that's the number of millimeters of Jack's circumference. 198 millimeters. Now, guess what? Who can tell me the number of millimeters of his height? On 3. 1, 2, 3.
120.
20 centimeters. Millimeters.
Isn't Jack's salt way, way bigger? All right, Claire, I want to, Claire, give me the next one, Claire.
I have paper towels, and the diameter is 9 centimeters, and the height is 27.5 centimeters.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Everyone, I want you to look at Jacob's and I want you to look at Claire's together. They both have the same diameter. When we multiply this by 3 and a 7, don't say it out loud, but who can tell me what we have here? Come on, 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus a little more than 1. Come on, everybody should be raising their hand. Everybody, not just one person. You know what 3 9s is. Omer, go for it.
27.
Yeah, but don't forget the other piece.
And a little more.
Yeah, but what's the little more? Is it 27 and a little more?
27 and
7.2.
And Jesse, what did you think, buddy?
28.3.
Actually,
And I'll come back to you. Jacob, what do you have?
28.1.
Jacob, I called on you, buddy. What do you have?
28.1.
Ah, now 28 and
28.2.
28 and 2/7 would be a really, really good estimate. Now, everybody, is Jacob's circumference way bigger?
Yes.
And guess what? I can't believe it, but even Claire's circumference is bigger than the height. Claire, can you show us a video of your paper towel roll? You'll have to just show the video there.
These are the paper.
Oh, wow. You know, Claire, I might have thought that that was an exception. I'm really, really glad that we did that one. Really, really glad. Now, do you remember I told you guys that I was going to teach you how to win this bet twice?
Yeah.
Because most people say, but Mr. Kramer, after I teach it to somebody, they always know the answer. But guess what? We're going to do it again, and I'm going to teach you how to win the bet twice. So here's what you're going to do. I want you to look at a special cylinder. And I'm going to stop sharing so you can see these. Are you ready? This guy, by the way, holds colored pencils. This is a Huey Boom speaker. It's a Huey Boom speaker. This one is salt crystals. And this one is a propane tank. I don't recommend that you guys touch propane tanks. They're dangerous. they all have something in common. So I'm going to ask you guys the question. Are these 4 cylinders more tall or more round? If you think that they're more round, please put up your thumbs right now. Go. If you think they're more tall than round, put up your thumbs now. And guess what? If you put up your thumb for either of those, you have to be wrong. And let me explain why. I'm going to use my Yui Boom right now. And I want you guys to watch me touch the diameter and set. I'm then going to measure out 1, 2, 3, and guys, look at that. The height and the circumference are equal. The height and the circumference are equal. The height and the circumference are equal. Now, here is the challenge question. You guys ready for the big challenge? If I had a label,
5:15.
if I had a label wrapped around, if I had a label wrapped around my cylinder, and then I took off my label, do not look at this piece of paper as the answer. What shape would that label be? And I want you to raise your hand electronically if you know what shape that label would be. And I'm going to start with you, Jack.
The label?
Jack, go ahead.
You're frozen. You're frozen.
I am frozen. Am I frozen for anybody else?
No.
No.
Okay, so Jack, it
Yes,
must be your internet. Hayden, do you have an idea?
Yeah,
What would the
Jack.
label be? What would the label look like? You had your hand up. You'll have to unmute yourself though.
Maybe a square?
Interesting. Jacob, what do you think?
I think it would be square too.
And Kennedy?
I think it would be a rectangle.
Well, I can guarantee you that all cylinders have labels that would be rectangular, but it's a special. Alex?
What's the question again?
The question is, if I put a label around my special cylinder that has the same circumference as its height, what would the shape of that label be? And now,
Probably just the same. Probably just the same. Probably just flat.
well, let's see the answer. You guys ready?
Yep.
And Hayden really, and Jacob and Kennedy nailed it. It is a square, everybody. The circumference runs along the top because that gets curled, right? That gets curled around to make the cylinder, and the height is the other dimension of the square. Now, why am I showing you a Pringles can? I do not have one.
Pringles are delicious.
Actually, they are delicious, but I do not have one in my house. Guys, Pringles cans are the perfect cylinder. if you grab a Pringles can, you will notice that its diameter is exactly 3 1/7.
What if it isn't?
Trust me, if it is a tall Pringles can made by Procter & Gamble, it will be the perfect cylinder. Now, I couldn't believe this. So it's really exciting. I do not think they did it by accident. I do not think they did it by accident. But now I want to do a test. Everybody please tell me, what is the height of my propane tank? And all I'm going to tell you is the diameter. So everybody write this down. Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
The diameter of my propane tank is exactly 72 millimeters. So I'm going to write that down right now.
72 millimeters.
It is 72 millimeters. And I strongly recommend multiplying it by 22/7. And you can send me an answer by chat. Hey, Rafa, that's pretty cool. 1,000,000 digits of pi. Ooh, a Sedaka box, Alex. That's a cool exception. Oh, very, very nice. Rafa gave me a good answer. Rafa gave me a good answer. Now, guys, I'm going to show you a little trick for estimating right now. This is a little trick for estimating. And I'm going to unmute everybody, so everybody's got to be really, really nice and quiet. Okay, here we go. Even though we know that 7 does not go into 72, we know that it goes in about 10 times. And I would even say 10 and a little more. Definitely not 11, because it's really only 10 and 2/7. But if I multiply 10 by 22, did you guys come up with 220? And if you do that and you add on 2/7, okay, 2/7, that would give us approximately 225 millimeters. Did anybody get close to that? And that's good. That's really good. Does anybody have any questions about that calculation?
I don't get it.
You have to say which part, because I don't get it. I mean, do you get how to find diameter? Do you get how to find circumference?
I don't get the
Or how to multiply fractions?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of a new area for us here. let's do another example that I think that you'll really like, okay? So I'm gonna put the propane aside, and now I'm gonna measure this guy right here. And I want you guys this guy right here is about 68 millimeters. So my diameter is 68 millimeters. Now, Hayden, we're going to multiply by 5, but it's going to be our estimate of 22/7. And, you know, Hayden, since 7 does not go into 68, I can't simplify. It would be really nice if it were 70, right? Because if it were 70, Hayden, how many times does 7 go into 70?
10.
Well, if your name's Hayden, then you'd be right. But Hayden, how many times do you think 7 goes into 70?
10 or 11?
Well, 11 sevens would be 77, but you were right, it is 10. So you can cross out 70 and 7 because that's the same as 10. And everyone, 10 times 22 is what?
220.
But this one is 68. So it's going to be approximately 200 and what, guys?
19.
219, maybe 218. And so this again is an estimate, and it is exactly the height of my object. Exactly the height of my object. Now, the last one we're gonna do, guys, is my salt shaker. Now, you can see that I drew a diameter on the bottom of my salt shaker. I hope my wife doesn't get upset that I keep drawing diameters on all of our cylinders. Oh, you guys are gonna like this one a lot. The diameter equals 42 millimeters. So I want you guys to do 42 times 22/7. And don't say it out loud. You can send me a chat with your answer. Now, guys, don't forget to simplify 42/7. How many times does 42 is a multiple of 7? 7 goes into 42. Olivia, how many times? On 3, 1, 2, 3, go.
6.
And 6 22s, which is, by the way, I always love to do distributive property. Come on.
The answer is
6 times
44
20.
millimeters.
And what is that?
44 millimeters.
100 and what? Who thinks they have the answer?
6.
Who thinks they have the answer? And Ava, what about you? Do you have it? Were you able to multiply 6 times 20? Which
I'm
is
working on it.
20, and then 6 times 2, which is 12. Can everybody say it on 3? 1, 2, 3, go.
132.
It's 132 millimeters. And guess what, guys? That is exactly the height of this salt shaker. So your job this week is to do a few things. I want you I want you to do this experiment with everyone you meet. I mean, I don't care where you are. If you're at a restaurant, if you're at home, if you're on a Zoom call with friends, grab a bottle of water, grab a glass of water, grab a glass and say, hey, is this glass more tall or more round? 98% of human beings will say it is more tall. You will then show them and explain to them that in fact it is way more round. Now, record your household cylinders. I have 200 household cylinders, 200. I'm sure you have at least 100. Record the diameters, the circumferences, and the heights, and compare them. And lastly, try to find, and I would say that Andrew's is the closest. So Andrew's water bottle was the closest cylinder to a perfect cylinder. Try to find the perfect cylinder, and if you can't, make your own.
Mr. Kramer?
Hold on. How do you, and I have got to go right now because I've got to start my next class, but I want to show you something. Do you guys see this square?
Yes.
Yeah.
Take a square and you fold it into a cylinder. It makes the perfect cylinder. So you can always create your own Pringles can, and it really, really works, and it's a lot of fun. I'll take one question, go. Go, go, go. Somebody had a question on 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, guys, I'll see you in 167 hours. I hope you become an expert in cylinders, diameter, circumference, and height. Have a great week and good night.